Have you ever been right in the middle of a sentence, like totally excited to tell a story?
Oh, all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And you are talking.
Uh-huh.
And you know the exact word you want to use in English. It was sitting right there on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
But then your brain just completely blanks on the word in your native language.
Oh, wow. Yes. That is so frustrating.
I mean, you were just standing there waving your hands. You are hoping the other person can just magically read your mind.
Exactly.
And your brain just flatlines on a word you've known since you were a little kid.
It is a super specific feeling, right? And it is uniquely frustrating, but it's actually a surprisingly common feeling.
It really is.
You just freeze. And while the harder you try to remember that word you grew up with, the further away it seems to slip.
Yeah, it feels like a total brain freeze.
Yeah.
Like a glitch in a computer.
Right. We often think of it as a glitch or like a sign that our memory is getting weak. But researchers actually see this as proof of a highly advanced brain.
Wait, really? So I am not just forgetting things.
Not at all. Your brain is just prioritizing speed. So it is not a glitch at all. It is actually a feature of a very complex system.
That makes me feel so much better. Because honestly, it feels like a glitch in the matrix of my own head sometimes.
I totally get that.
But today, we are going to diagnose that glitch. Welcome to another deep dive, everyone. Today, we are exploring the hidden mechanics of the multilingual mind.
Yes, it is such a fascinating topic.
We are unpacking how your brain actually works when you speak multiple languages. And we will look at the real benefits that go way beyond just ordering a coffee in a foreign country.
Because it really is about so much more than that.
Exactly. We are also going to dissect those hilarious, funny quirks that happen when you run multiple languages in your head at once.
Like mixing up words, right?
Yes, because the main idea from our sources today is that learning languages is not just about learning new words.
Right.
It actually shapes how you see the real world, how you connect with people, and, well, how you solve problems.
And understanding how this works is so important today. I mean, we live in a world where borders are totally open now.
Oh, absolutely. Like on the internet.
Exactly. Not just physically traveling, but digitally, culturally, and in our jobs. So knowing multiple languages is no longer just a cool party trick.
Yeah, it's not just to impress people anymore.
Right. It is a really necessary tool for connecting with the whole world. So we are going to see how these languages physically change your brain and open up totally new experiences.
But before we get into the heavy science of how the brain changes, we need to define our terms.
Good idea.
I think when a lot of people hear the word multilingual, they immediately picture this perfectly dressed diplomat.
Oh, sure, like someone at the United Nations.
Right. Or some professor who can speak 7 languages perfectly without any accent.
Yeah, that is a very intimidating standard for most people.
It really is. But the materials we are looking at today give us a much simpler, easier definition.
What do they say?
They define being multilingual simply as the ability to speak, understand, or use more than one language.
I love that. That specific phrase, speak, understand, or use, is probably the most important point of our whole deep dive today.
Why is that?
Because it completely destroys the myth that you have to be perfectly fluent.
Oh, I see.
Fluency is not just an on and off switch. You are not either 100% perfect or 0% perfect.
Right, there is a middle ground.
Exactly. If you are using a language practically in your daily life, even if you have a heavy accent or, your grammar is not perfect, it absolutely counts as using it.
I really love the example our sources use for this. They talk about the daily life in India.
Oh, that is a perfect example.
It is, right. It is
There.
basically a massive, real-world example of this exact definition. The texts point out that it is super common for people in India to use Hindi, English, and their own regional language every single day.
Yes, it really shows that using many languages is not just for passing a school exam.
Definitely not.
For millions of people, it is just a basic tool for daily survival. I mean, think about that Indian context. A person might wake up and use their regional language, like maybe Bengali or Marathi, at home with their family.
Right. The home language.
Yeah, that language has all the warmth, the emotions, and the closeness of family. Then they go outside.
And the language changes.
Exactly. They step onto the street and switch to Hindi to talk to a shopkeeper or a rickshaw driver.
So true.
And finally, they get to the office and they switch to English to write a formal email or sit in a meeting.
It's like they live in 3 different worlds every day.
Yeah.
But let me push back on this definition just a little bit, because I want to make sure I really understand the limit here.
Sure, good.
If someone just knows how to say hello and thank you in a few languages because they go on vacation sometimes,
Yeah.
does that make them multilingual?
That is a very fair
I
question.
am trying to picture how this works in the brain. Is having multiple languages in your head like having different apps on your smartphone?
Oh, I like this analogy.
Like you just open a translation app when you need it? Or is it more like running completely different operating systems on a computer depending on where you are?
That is a brilliant way to look at it. To answer your question, knowing just a few phrases for a holiday is definitely like the app level.
Okay, the Apple.
Yeah, it is a useful tool you download for a short trip, but it does not really change how your phone works inside. You just open the app, say thank you, and close it.
Right, that makes sense.
But when you actually start using and understanding a language in daily life, like that three-language example in India, you are not just opening apps anymore.
So what are you doing?
You are basically installing a totally new operating system, or in that case, three operating systems at the same time.
And an operating system changes everything. It changes how the whole machine thinks.
Exactly. When someone switches from English at the office to their regional language at home, they are not just translating words one by one.
Right, it's not a dictionary translation.
No, they're changing the whole cultural feeling. The tone changes. The level of respect changes.
Oh, like how we use different words for elders.
Yes, exactly. Your brain has to load completely different rules for talking to people. Some jokes only make sense in the regional language.
Oh, I know that for sure. Some jokes just do not work in English.
Right, and certain ways of being professional only exist in English at the office. So the whole logic of your brain changes based on the operating system you were using at that moment.
Which brings up a really interesting point. If we are running these complex operating systems all day, switching between cultures all the time, what does that do to our brain?
That is the big question.
Because honestly, that sounds completely exhausting.
Right.
But our sources say this mental hard work is actually acting like a gym for your brain.
Yes, and this is where daily life meets actual biology.
Okay, tell me more.
The materials are very clear about this. They describe learning and using languages as a literal workout for your mind.
A brain workout. I love that.
Yeah. Studies show that all this switching and thinking actually improves your memory and your problem-solving skills.
I really want to dig into how this works because it is easy to just say it's a workout. But what does that mean inside our heads?
Well, we can think about it like building muscles.
Okay, let's stretch this fitness idea.
Yeah.
If language learning is like going to the gym, can we say that learning grammar rules is like doing cardio?
Cardio. Like running.
Yeah, like it gives you endurance and keeps the whole system running smoothly. And then, is memorizing vocabulary like strength training? Like lifting heavy weights to build muscle?
I think we can definitely use that example. Think about what happens when you lift heavy weights at the gym.
You sweat a lot.
True. But inside, you are actually creating tiny little tears in your muscles because of the heavy weight.
Right, and then they heal and get bigger.
Exactly. The body repairs those muscles and makes them stronger. Well, in your brain, the heavy weight is the mental struggle.
The struggle of trying to remember a word.
Yes. The effort to remember vocabulary or trying really hard to build a correct sentence, that struggle is the same as lifting a heavy weight.
So when I feel really frustrated and confused in a new language, that is actually just the feeling of my brain growing.
Precisely. You are forcing your brain to build new connections. But the really amazing part involves something called the executive function.
Executive function. That sounds like a fancy corporate job. What is that?
It kind of is. Think of it as the main manager of your brain. It handles your memory, your flexible thinking, and your focus.
Okay, the brain manager. Got it.
When you know multiple languages, this brain manager is getting a super intense workout all day because it has to actively block one language while you speak another.
Wait, block. So when I am speaking Hindi, my brain isn't just turning on Hindi. It is also fighting to keep English turned off.
Exactly. It is called cognitive inhibition.
That sounds complicated.
It just means your brain is stopping the wrong words from coming out. Let's say you look at an apple. Inside your brain, both the English word apple and the Hindi word seb light up at the same time.
Oh, wow. Both words wake up.
Right. So your brain manager has to quickly step in, block the English word, and let the Hindi word go to your mouth.
And doing this all day is like doing mental push-ups.
Yes, thousands of times a day.
Okay, that makes perfect sense for talking. But the text says this improves our problem-solving skills in general life.
It does.
Why would doing mental push-ups make me better at solving normal problems? Like, if I learn how to block English to speak Hindi, how does that help me fix my broken internet router or stop two friends from arguing?
Because the brain muscles you are making stronger are not just used for words, they are used for everything.
Everything.
Yeah? When you train your brain to hold two different sets of grammar rules at the same time and quickly choose the right one, you are making your brain very flexible.
Oh, I see.
That flexibility helps you solve problems in daily life. A brain that knows how to patiently untangle a confusing sentence is much better at looking at a broken internet router, ignoring the bad ideas, and patiently finding the real problem.
Wow. It is like building mental toughness. You are training your brain not to panic when things get confusing.
Precisely. You learn to handle confusing information without getting stressed.
So if this mental workout is upgrading our brain's software, how does that actually help us in the real world? What is the real return on this investment?
The sources use a very simple and powerful idea to explain this. They say that languages open doors.
Open doors, that's a nice image.
And they list real benefits, like getting better jobs, having easier travel experiences, understanding different cultures, and making friends all over the world.
Right.
They summarize it by saying, it is like having multiple keys that unlock different worlds.
Keys that unlock different worlds. That sounds great, but let's talk about what those worlds actually look like in normal life.
Okay, let's do that.
One of the simple benefits they mentioned is just the joy of watching movies or shows from different countries in their real language.
It seems like a small thing, but it perfectly shows why translation is not always enough.
Yeah, totally.
A language doesn't just help you buy food or ask for directions. It unlocks the actual feeling of a culture.
Like the emotions.
Yes. Think about watching a comedy show. Sure, we have subtitles, but subtitles just translate the data. They rarely translate the real feeling.
That is so true. When I read a joke in a subtitle, it's just not as funny. I might understand the joke, but I don't feel the laugh inside, you know?
Exactly. Because humor, sarcasm, and emotion are hidden inside the actual sounds and rhythm of the language.
Oh, I agree completely.
When you hold the key to that language, you get the message exactly how the actor wanted you to feel it.
Without a translator getting in the way.
Right. You unlock the real emotion. And this is exactly the same for traveling and making friends.
Let me test that. If I travel to a new city and I don't speak the language at all, I can still use a translation app on my phone to get a taxi.
Sure, you can.
I can still see the beautiful buildings and eat the local food. So what is this magic key actually giving me that my phone app is not?
Well, without the language, you're just watching things from behind a glass window.
Behind a glass window.
You can look at the beautiful city,
Yeah.
but you cannot really touch it. You cannot interact.
I'm just a tourist taking pictures.
Exactly. But when you have the language key, even just a little bit of it, that glass window breaks.
Wow.
You stop being just a watcher. You become a part of the place. You can joke with the street food seller. You understand what people are laughing about in the market. You are suddenly inside the culture.
That really adds meaning to the phrase from our source. Every new language is a new adventure.
It really is an adventure.
Because you are stepping into a new world that you couldn't even see before.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the job part for a second.
Sure, careers are important.
A lot of people learn English just for their careers. When we talk about job benefits, is it just about having a skill? Like, oh, this person speaks English, so they can talk to the American clients. Check the box.
That used to be it.
Right.
Yeah.
So are companies actually looking for that flexible, problem-solving brain we just talked about?
Today, it is definitely the problem-solving brain they want.
Really?
Yes, because basic translation is easy now. We have AI and smart software for that.
That is true. My phone can translate emails now.
Exactly. So what makes a multilingual person special to a company is the journey they took.
The journey.
Yes. Someone who has learned a second language has shown that they work hard, they adapt easily, and they can look at problems from different cultural sides.
Oh, so they are not just a human dictionary.
No, not at all. The company is hiring a brain that has been lifting heavy weights in the mental gym. They are hiring that strong brain manager who can handle confusing situations without panicking.
Okay, so you have this super strong, flexible brain. You have a pocket full of keys opening all these doors. You are doing great at your job, making friends, and watching cool movies.
Sounds like a great life.
It does. But let's be honest. Having all these languages in your head can get super messy.
Oh, incredibly messy.
It leads to those funny mental traffic jams, like the exact story we started this deep dive with today.
Yes. The glitches and mixed up wires of the multilingual mind.
Yeah.
The source material is actually very comforting about this. It openly says that managing multiple languages is not always smooth.
No, it is not.
And it is completely normal to mix words from different languages in the middle of a sentence.
The text gives a great example of this. It says, it is super common to know a word perfectly in English, but completely forget it in Hindi.
Yes, that happens so much.
The text calls this the multilingual brain at work. It says it's normal. But I want to know why. Why does it happen?
This goes back to that brain manager we talked about, the cognitive inhibition.
Right, the blocking thing.
Yes. When you forget a basic word in your mother tongue, your first feeling is usually panic.
Yeah, I feel so silly. I think, oh no, I'm forgetting my own language.
But physically, inside your head, it actually proves you have a very fast, highly active brain.
Wait, so when I look stupid because I cannot remember the Hindi word for spoon, my brain is actually doing something highly advanced.
Absolutely.
I love that. Tell me how.
Think of your brain like a massive high-speed computer. When you want to say the word spoon, your brain doesn't just open one folder labeled English.
Okay.
Because you know many languages, your brain searches through all your folders at lightning speed to find the best word for that object.
So the English word spoon and the Hindi word chamak are both correct answers for the brain.
Yes, they're literally racing each other to reach your mouth.
A word race in my head.
Exactly. And sometimes the brain just wants to be fast. It finds the English word first, grabs it, and gets ready to say it.
But what about the Hindi word?
Well, remember the brain manager. In that split second, the door to the Hindi word gets blocked.
Why?
Because the manager thinks, hey, task finished. We found a word. Block the other word so we don't stutter.
Oh, wow.
That is why you get stuck holding the English word and you totally cannot remember the Hindi word. The brain grabbed the right idea, but from the wrong language folder, and it locked the door.
That is such a cool way to explain it. It is like accidentally trying to use your house key to start your car.
Yes, perfect example.
You have the right tool.
Mhm.
I mean, it is a key,
Yeah.
but it is just the wrong key for the car.
Exactly.
But let me ask a practical question here. Do these mistakes ever stop?
What do you mean?
Like, if I study English for 20 years and I become super fluent, does my brain get better at organizing the files? Or is this mixing up just a permanent part of having two languages?
Based on science, it is pretty much permanent. Really? Forever.
Yeah. It might happen a little less often, but because the languages live in the same house in your brain, they are never totally separated. They will always mix a little.
Oh, is that why we create things like Hinglish? Mixing Hindi and English together.
That is so interesting. People usually say English is just lazy speaking.
I know culturally we sometimes look down on it, but scientifically it is the exact opposite of lazy.
Really? How so?
It is your brain finding the fastest and best way to share a specific thought. It pulls the absolute perfect word from whichever language has it ready.
So it's efficient.
Yes. If a Hindi word explains a feeling better than an English word, your smart brain just quickly swaps it in. It is a highly optimized brain, not a broken one.
Wow, that totally changes how I see it. It is not a glitch at all. It is a feature.
Exactly.
Okay, before we talk about how to get better at learning, I want to do something a little fun.
Oh, a game.
Yeah, a super quick rapid-fire game. I am going to give you a daily life situation, and I want you to tell me a classic English phrase or a funny language glitch that happens.
Oh, I love this. I'm ready.
Okay, situation 1. You are in a meeting, and you want to tell your team to postpone a task to tomorrow. But your brain mixes Hindi and English. What do you say?
Oh, that's easy. I'd say let's call do it.
Yes, let's go do it. So funny. Okay, situation 2. You are annoyed because someone is showing off too much.
I'd probably say, don't eat my brain, you're... Or maybe he is doing too much show off.
Doing too much show off. Classic. Okay, last one. You are confirming if a plan is final.
Oh, is it Paka final?
Haka final. I say that all the time.
See? That is the multilingual brain working perfectly. It's taking the strength of Paka and the clarity of final and putting them together.
That is brilliant. Okay, so we know it is a messy process. We know there are mixed up keys and English voices.
Yes.
So how do we actually learn without getting super frustrated and giving up? Because the fear of sounding stupid is huge for most people.
It really is the biggest barrier. But this brings us to how we actually master a language.
What do our sources say about this?
What I love about the text is how practical it is. It does not promise a magic trick.
No, learn English in 30 days promises.
No, none of that. Instead, it gives us simple rules to remember. It says, language learning takes time.
Simple but true.
It says, practice makes progress. And most importantly, it says, I enjoy learning new languages.
Wait, let's pause on that second one. Practice makes progress. That is a very smart change from the old saying, practice makes perfect.
It is a brilliant change.
Why is that so important?
Because trying to be perfect is a trap. If you wait until your grammar is 100% perfect before you speak, you will never speak.
You will just stay silent forever.
Exactly. The main goal of language is not to pass a grammar test. The main goal is to connect with human beings.
Okay, but let me play the bad guy for a minute.
Sure, go ahead.
If I just focus on progress and I speak with terrible grammar every day, won't my brain just learn the bad grammar forever? Shouldn't we try to be perfect so we don't build bad habits?
That is a very fair worry. And yes, if you keep making the same mistake and never check it, it can become a habit.
Right.
But the text focuses on progress because the much bigger problem is people quitting.
Giving up because of fear.
Yes. Yes, you might learn a small grammar mistake. But if that mistake still lets you order food, buy a train ticket, or make a new friend, then the language has done its job.
That is true. They still understood me.
Exactly. A small grammar mistake is not a big deal. But being too scared to speak is a total failure. The text states it very clearly. You don't need perfect English, just consistency.
Consistency. So connection is more important than being perfect.
Always.
It reminds me of learning to play the guitar.
Oh, how so?
Well, if you start learning the guitar today, nobody expects you to play perfectly tomorrow.
Right, that would be impossible.
If you're sitting with friends and you play just 3 simple chords and maybe you sing a little bit out of tune.
People will still smile and sing with you.
Exactly. They don't care if it's perfect. They just want to hear enough right notes to recognize the song.
That is a beautiful way to think about it. The native speakers of the language you are learning are just like those friends. Yes, most of them are not judging your grammar. They are just happy you are trying to speak their language. They just want to connect.
So consistency means picking up that guitar every day, even when it sounds bad.
Exactly. In language, it means trying to use your few simple English words every day. Let your brain build those muscles, and don't let the fear of making a mistake stop the music.
Wow. This has been such an amazing deep dive today. We've completely changed how we look at learning languages.
We really have.
We explored how learning a language is not just a trick for your resume. It is a literal gym workout for your brain.
Right. It builds strong mental muscles and helps you solve daily problems.
We saw how these languages are like keys that open up new worlds.
Yeah.
They let you step through the glass window and actually feel the culture, watch movies, and make real friends.
And we learned that mixing up words or speaking English is totally normal.
Yes. It is not a failure. It is just proof that your brain is working super fast to find the best word.
And finally, we threw away the idea of being perfect. Practice makes progress. Showing up and speaking, even with mistakes, is always better than staying silent.
So I want to turn this directly to you, the listener. Think about your own journey with English right now.
Or any language you are trying to learn.
Right. Are you letting the fear of a bad grammar mistake stop you from speaking? Are you waiting to be perfect before you open your mouth?
I hope not.
Because every time you speak, even if it is completely broken, you are unlocking a new adventure. You might even make a new friend today.
Remember, the main goal is human connection. Don't let perfection steal your joy.
Absolutely. Now, as we wrap up our deep dive, I want to leave you with one final interesting thought to think about.
Oh, I love these.
The source text says that every language you learn makes your world a little bigger.
Yes, we talked about that.
We talked about how new words unlock new cultures. But think about this. What happens to the parts of life that we never learn the words for?
Oh, wow. That is deep.
Right. If you only speak one language your whole life, are there certain feelings or ways to understand love or time that you just can never feel?
Simply because you don't have the word for it.
Exactly. Do we only feel the things that we have the vocabulary to describe?
That is a fascinating question.
It really makes you wonder how the words we use actually build the reality we live in. Well, that is something for you to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, keep making those mistakes, and keep unlocking new worlds.